Man, y'all know the face. Y'all know the name. Y'all tuned into the world's greatest podcast. Y'all know I don't just say this because it sounds lit when I say this. I actually believe this is the world's greatest podcast, Talk Ain't Cheap podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mr. It's a Movie, Cletus Real Talk. And I got a special guest with me. And when I say special, you got to understand, this is like my brother. And y'all know I don't introduce people. That goes against Talk Ain't Cheap fashion. This is a special person to me. Someone I'm very proud of. And I'm not going to go too much because we have a lot to speak about, but yes, please introduce yourself.
Y'all know me, man. Scottie. HD,
come on.
The biggest.
Come on.
Whatever y'all want to call me, man.
Man.
Catalog is huge.
Catalog is immaculate, without a doubt.
Whatever they want to call me, man. Whatever applies. Different names for different folks. So.
Oh yeah, let's definitely make sure we take off the yeah. Good. Well, man. All right, let me start it off. All right, so I know you, obviously from Buff State, Buff UB. Young niggas, you, Cat, Big Cat, all your friends, very young, a lot of energy.
Why?
A lot of energy. And let's not talk about me. What was the first time what was your first interaction with me? Like, what was that for you? What was that like for you? Because I know what it was like for me, but I want to know what it's like for you.
My first interaction with you, it was more so a respectful interaction, right? You came so humbly, and I have no what's the word I'm looking for? I have no shame in like saying it. Like, of course, like I knew who you were. I think before you knew who I was, of course, you would like dominate in Buffalo. So when you came to me, in a sense, when we started, putting out content and started, growing into who we were, you came to me humbly on some like, I'm Cletus, like I'm Scottie. You like, I know, and I'm like, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? Dressed up, however you dressed up, your swag is your swag. It was just different, and your energy. You just made sure, your energy and aura was felt, in any room, no matter who was in the room. So, you always made sure you were respectful to everybody. You always said what's up, no matter if you knew the person or not. So it was just really welcome in that first interaction, I would say. And that's what I feel like. That's what gravitated our relationship, and enhanced it, because in my mind, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this guy? This guy is wearing I see him fucking hosting shows. This guy is, he got his own swag, he got his own style, and he's so humble at the same time. I'm like, who the fuck? Can I curse on this?
Of course, it's Talk Ain't Cheap podcast. You can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah, this shit ain't cheap. It's expensive. I better do whatever the fuck I want.
Let's cheers. Cheers to you. God bless, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really what it was.
That's beautiful. That's nice.
Settle.
Very nice. I like that. That's my new favorite right there. That's my new favorite right there.
There we go. So that's really what it was. Real welcoming, real humble. And the interaction itself, that initial interaction, was really just me. Like, I
appreciate that. I'll tell you my first interaction with you. So I was watching. Like, one thing about me, I watch everything. I'm like, I don't know creep shit, but like, you gotta be very aware of your surroundings, especially places like Buff, where everyone is like, not someone trying to find themselves, but people are like, Buffalo's a place where I always say like kings are crowned in Buffalo, and queens are too. Like, these are places where people crown you. Like, when you at college, this is the places where all the like-minded quote unquote people are, because everyone has the ability to be in that type of space, and everyone understands what it costs to be in that space. It's not cheap, and it's definitely not free for a lot of people. So when you get to see people who get to operate at a certain level, and you see basically like the whole concept of cream rise to the top, that's how I saw you. So when I saw you, I saw a little bit about myself in you. So one of the first things I recognized when I saw you was your presence. You were very happy, very energetic. You loved just to love life, and I love that about people. I feel like people take life too seriously sometimes. Right. So that was my first interaction. I was like, wow, his energy is infatuating. So that was number one. Number two, I saw you getting involved in a lot of leadership things, and in college, what people don't tell you is that like getting involved into leadership positions is a big thing, but it's not something everyone does, because everyone can't afford to do that. especially with the already stress of being in college and doing all these different things. Seeing you get involved so early was like, wow. And then last but not least, it's the same type of said, like you had your own swag, your own aura, your own demeanor. And then last, what I would say, really what made you guys stick out to me was how y'all supported everything I did. Like, in my head, I always looked at it like you didn't have to be there. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't gotta come to this shit. You don't gotta, you know what I mean? This is y'all money. Like, y'all don't go, and y'all was like adamant. Like, yo, we going, we here, here's this, we bought you this. And I'm sitting here like, bro, there's people I've known the entire like for years that just come. They just pull up. Like, they don't even fuck with me like that. They don't like, no, like y'all really was like, I'm just happy to be here. Mm-hmm. And after that, I was like, yeah, nah. Anything I could do to pour into y'all, I was gonna do it. And that's why it was so important for me to really make sure like I did that. Because I saw so much of myself in you that it was like, bro, if not him, then who else? And if I don't do it, who's gonna do it the right way? Because last point, but a lot of motherfuckers in Buffalo at the time, they were users. And no one wanted to talk about it, especially a lot of these older people in a lot of these spaces. They were users. They were very predatory in the way that they wanted to empower people for their own gain, their own benefit. Yeah, and that was never me, because I understood that this shit is bigger than me, it's bigger than you, and it's gonna go a lot longer than us. So that's my first interaction. I'll say this. What was Wet and Wild like? Not Wet and Wild, Soaking Wet like for you? Because I remember how y'all pulled up to my birthday party, and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Nah, so it was, it was a great experience, but we were young and turned, and everybody hated us because of that. You know, we had that bond, and you know, kudos to everybody else, but the same niggas that were around then is still the same niggas I'm around now. You know, a lot of people really can't say that. Shout outs to like Drizzy Dre, Todd, you know, Jamone, whoever was around, whoever you saw me around in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not a super strong, you know, of course we get older, things tend to gravitate, but there's always that level of respect and always that love that's always going to be present. So yeah, but going back to that event, it was dope. Nobody fucking did a fucking mansion pool party respectfully. Better yet, just yourself, you know? So that shit was just insane. And just the way you did the dynamics, it was like everybody can't come, but y'all young and turn. So y'all might be the youngest niggas there, but y'all valid. There's gonna be some UB hoes and bus state hoes. Like, pull up. I'm like, nah, who the fuck? And I'm like, you know what? We don't know what to expect. I'm like, oh, Buffalo.
And the tickets were expensive at the time for the scene. It was like $25, $30 for the scene. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then, like I said, we was young and turned. So it was just like, yo, fuck it. Like, what we gonna do? We like, yo, we gonna go, son. Fuck it. You know? Jamal had the whip, I think, by that time up there. And we was like, fuck it. So we came through, bottled up.
Y'all were the first people to really have Bel Air on deck.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. Big real Rick Ross. We need a cut. We need a check. Send that bread. We the biggest.
We came through like 5-6 bottles deep. Everybody had. We like, yo, Clee here. Happy birthday, yo. This is for us though. Put this on the side.
Yeah, because y'all was so young at the time. Y'all wasn't even supposed to be in there with the bottles. Like my security, God bless my security. By the way, Miss Carruthers, her husband, even just the mansion, all the black people at that spot that allowed us to do it, because you gotta think they was not jacking us at all. Like, they wasn't jacking me because I was so young, and they didn't jack out because I was young and black, and that was a black woman who owned that mansion. So God bless them, and thank you for that opportunity. But for me, they were like, yo, these niggas not even 21 yet. They got 18 bottles. Yeah. I said, don't worry, they coming to drop it off at the bar. We have a bartender that's actually supervising everything. And yeah, bro, that was probably one of the best experiences I ever put together. I didn't get to really enjoy it because obviously you know how I am with my own events, but it was nice to see that. It was probably the nastiest shit I've ever put together. And when I say nasty, like just the way the timing everybody was on.
Yeah.
Madness.
It was a different dynamic, you know. It wasn't what we were used to. You know, it wasn't your average, you know, what app we used to use to like promo.
I mean,
what was that app? All the teams was on there. Like, everybody had it.
That the group me joints.
Like the group me shits, whatever it was. It was like it wasn't that. It was like, yo, I think you needed a code to even purchase the ticket, to be honest. So
yep.
I think you were just on some like, yo, you know, it's my birthday party. I'll do a little something for y'all. Hear the code. Don't get nobody the code. Scottie, if you're gonna give somebody the code, make sure you let me know. And I remember vividly what you said. You said if you're gonna bring somebody, make sure they're a quality individual. Verbatim. You were just like, make sure they're quality people. That shit resonated with. That shit stuck with me till today. I tell people that all the fucking time, respectfully. I'm like, yo, look, I trust your judgment. I trust your people are with you for a reason. You're someone of substance. So whoever you bring, just make sure they're somewhat of substance compared to like your level. Somewhat on the same pedestal of you. Only quality people. If you're gonna bring them, I trust your judgment though. You don't have to run it by me, but if they're coming with you, they coming with you.
You're accountable for them.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, you're accountable for them, and I'm fine with portraying that trust in you and instilling my trust in you for you to make that judgment. So. But yeah, that was a time. That was a time, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, everybody was just on some. Till this day, I say, respectfully, that was one of my, like, funnest events to attend at Buffalo because the dynamic was just so different. Just,
there were so many beautiful women in a mansion.
Motherfucking mansion. I'm
with
like,
a jacuzzi.
And I'm looking at my life, I'm like, how the fuck this nigga played this shit off, son? How? Who the fuck is this guy? I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, the shit wasn't West Bubble. I won't forget that. The shit was mad far too.
Well. Let's take a step back. It actually really wasn't. It was right by UB South. The problem was, it was UB South, but it was a part of UB South that no one has ever seen. It actually was very close to Buff State and UB. It was closer to UB, but further from Buff State because it wasn't like Tonawanda. It was like, bro, like you're in the trenches. Like you're in the South. You're in UB South.
Yo, I'm like, nah. We get in like. It was really nice. It was really nice. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, valet parking.
Yo, it was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw a basketball hoop outside. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, all right, let's see what the inside look like. And I was like, wow, this is dope.
I'm just honored, bro. All right, so let's really get to the meat and potatoes. All right, so you're a very talented person, bro. And I didn't know you played quarterback in high school.
Appreciate that, man.
How did you how long have you been playing football for? How did you get into that? Why quarterback?
Great. I've been playing football all my life. Like, football is a part of me. Football will always be a part of me. Probably since I was like 7 years old. I never started off playing quarterback. I was always like the small kid, just had a big arm, right? And I stand by the saying, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And, growing up, we had someone that was way better than I was, that was playing quarterback, which was fine, right? I played my role, he played his role. He was a better quarterback than I was at the time, but then he got hurt, and it was like a huge game. Long story short, I feel like I'm going down memory path.
Come on, we here.
It was a huge game, and coach was like, all right, Scottie, like, you're it. And I'm talking about, I'm the smallest kid on the field, skinniest kid on the field. And he's like, look, Scottie, like, the play, like, you gotta do this. Like, the dog in me was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. But me being, in the moment, I'm like, oh shit, like, this is a playoff game. They trying to put this shit on me? Like, I'm good being a slot receiver. Like, you sure you don't want? And he's like, you ready for this? And we won that game, long story short, Came down to the wire, made a couple passes, did what I had to do, and we ended up winning that game. I even sealed the game, caught the game, threw the game-winning touchdown, caught the game-winning pick.
Jesus Christ.
So it was like, him Williams, like him Duncan, him, like you know,
him carry.
You get what I mean? So it's like, at that point, I feel like that, and I that point in my life was such a turning moment for me, because it was like, all right, what you put your mind to, young bull, you could do, no matter the circumstances, no matter what the fuck is going on. You was the smallest on the field. You can't even see over your old lineman, and you throwing fucking game-winning touchdown passes and catching game-winning picks to seal the day. So at that point, that was when it was like, all right, bro, like, it's time to grind. Like, that was just a situation, thank God you were ready for, but now you got to apply this to life. And that's why I say football is always going to stay with me, because it's a game of discipline. It's a game of life learning lessons. That shit right there stuck with me for life, because in my mind, I stayed to that saying. Like I said, you have to stay ready so you don't got to get ready. You never know what life is going to give you. You never know, there's no book to this shit. There's no book. Nobody can't tell you page by page what to do to get successful. Everybody's life is unique. Every individual is unique. Everybody's different in their own way. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, the most that I can do is just prepare myself. So when time presents itself, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. So you played quarterback at Sheepshead Bay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was Sheepshead Bay like for you? Because Sheepshead Bay is crazy. Why didn't you go to like one of these other schools like Campus Magnet, or like, because you had opportunities to go to Lincoln for it. Why didn't
100%. For me, it was more so, it's just my personality. Like, everybody wanted to go there. And I'm like, damn, y'all all a bunch of dick riders. Like, y'all know, like, we know the Lincolns, the E-holes, and respectfully, anybody that listens to this who play football on them teams, respect, kudos to y'all rings and all that, but that was not me. Like, I am more comfortable with myself telling myself I went to a school where I did what I had to do for that program, rather than to come to an established program already and just going where I fit. And that was not me. You get what I mean? And
you're a born leader.
That's what it was. I saw my opportunity. Sheep said the offense fit my style of being a quarterback. You don't have to be the tallest, biggest. It was a lot of like running and throwing, and that was what I was into. So I said, all right, listen, I'm going to take my shot and we're going to go. And that's what I did.
What was your record like for your senior and juniors?
Next question. If you know, you know. But so I got hurt my senior year.
It's tough.
I was the only quarterback on that team. I broke my ankle. I broke straight through my right growth plate, the third game of the season. So, y'all could pretty much,
see how that went.
See how that went. Yeah, it was a real important season for me. That was another huge game-changing moment in my life as well. Just that whole dynamic. All I knew was football. Most important year for me to show out to, show colleges. God just said, all right, Scottie, look, this is what we going to do.
It's crazy that how sometimes in life God will take away the thing that you think is the most important thing for you to really showcase why you should lean on him.
Yo, I was torn. And talk ain't cheap. Talk ain't, I was going to say isn't, my bad. Talk ain't cheap. I'm saying some expensive shit right now. I was torn, Clee. God took that from me, man, and I appreciate him doing so. But, yo, at that moment, I was so vulnerable, bro. I'm talking about, how old are you at that age? Like
17, 18, 17. Yeah, 16, 17, yeah.
All I knew was football. I've been playing since I was 7, 10 years straight, bro. I know the game with my eyes closed. My most important year to prove myself, bro. God said, young boy, chill out, hold on. And I'm just like,
so what was the next move for you?
Bro, sitting and learning who I was, bro.
Being still is tough.
That was the hardest part. Like, out of my whatever years of me living, I'm not going to say my age on this, but, bro, that was the hardest moment. I had to figure out who I was, because God took the most important thing in that moment out of my life for me to figure and find who I was. So now at that point, it's like, all right. The doctor told me I ain't coming back this season. Coaches that was prospecting me wasn't writing me back because they knew I was hurt. It's like,
what's next? Yeah, what are you doing?
Next?
Yeah. So what was the next move for you? Like, what you sat there, you figured out that football might not be in your cards after you invested so much time and energy, legit put your body on the line for the sport. So what did you do next? How did you pick up the pieces?
Yo, it was, I don't even want to say the solution, because I feel like I'm still kind of still trying to pick up some of those pieces, like the puzzle was sorted out, but bro, it's hard, because as a young African-American male, all we know is sports, right? All we know is rapping, all we know is sports. Unfortunately, I was one of those, young individuals, and sports was my way out the hood. It was, yo, Scottie gonna put in this work and it's gonna pay off, and that's all I knew. So it was a long time, probably my whole senior year. And it wasn't just football, it's everything. Like I'm in cast, I'm on crutches, I can't even walk. by myself for me to go use the bathroom. I gotta wait for my crutches. I gotta board the bus first because everybody know I'm on crutches, and the bus gotta descend the ramp. It plays on your mind. It played on my mind till this day. It plays on my mind. But yeah, I'm still picking up the pieces. Just as far as the next move, though, it really was just, Scottie, you need to figure out other ways and other values to life. It's more than just football. And I think that's what God wanted me to know. That's the message he wanted me to grasp, from him doing what he did. So that's what I did. My next move was, all right, Scottie, you got to figure it out. It wasn't more so like an actual action. It was like, all right, Scottie, you got to, your faith is high. It'll never slip with the Lord. Everything happens for a reason. Figure out why he did this. And now I'm starting to understand where I am now. It's like, in the moment I didn't understand, but it's like, okay, God, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Because if I didn't back then, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, right? I wouldn't have most of the pieces figured out now. The pieces to the puzzle put together, it wouldn't be as structured as it is now. So I'm just appreciative for that. And like I said, it's not a specific motion that I did. It wasn't an action. It was more so a self-evaluation over the years. All right, bro, never moving forward, what we're not going to do is put all your eggs in one basket. Now you're just going to tap into different lanes. And when one thing goes, you got a couple other things to rely on.
I love that. So how did you get to Buff State? Why Buff State? Because I ain't gonna lie, bro, I didn't know Buff State really existed prior to during my college search. So it's always interesting when I see a bunch of people who chose Buff State.
A lot of factors played into it. Financials played into it. Distance played into it. It was something I was kind of far from home, not too far from home. I knew a couple people that went to Buff State. They told me the culture wasn't too different. Mainly, most of Brooklyn is at Buff. And it was crazy because I knew a couple heads from Brooklyn. I was out there, so I felt I don't want to use the word safe, but I felt kind of grounded, knowing that at least I'm not going in blindly. I know I know a couple people who's actually there. I didn't want to play for their sports team because I know D3 and I'm not wasting my time. So yeah, the things I was hearing, not gonna lie to you, it was, you're gonna have fun. And this is what college is about. Be in your books, but you're gonna have fun if you go to Buff. And it's away from home. Not saying
you have a good situation at the house.
I had a situation. Yeah, I didn't need to go away. Let's just clear that up, because I know a lot of people's probably yeah, I wasn't one of those
run away. I had to go find a place to stay.
I had my situations at home was perfectly fine. I had my own space. I was doing whatever I was doing before, since junior high school, to be honest with you. So it wasn't I was fiending to get away at all. It was just so all right, Scottie, take this step and just be a man. And I had my boys with me. Jim, shout out to Jim. He was one of the people that played on my football team that went. My homegirl, Deidre, she was the cheerleading captain in high school. She came through with me. And Jamone went to Sheepset with me. So it was all right, I'm not going by myself. I'm not going blindly. I'm going with people. Let's get this shit done. So that was that.
I think Buff State, and shout out to Buffalo State for becoming a Buffalo State University now. That's a big move, and I think that's just to credit just the people who came before that, because Buffalo State, in my opinion, I always tell people all the time, if you really know me, I was really a Buff State nigga, just happened to go to UB. Everyone knows that. If you know that, if I would have known Buff State probably existed, I probably would have went to Buff State. But I think it was good that I didn't go to Buff State, because I don't know if I could have handled all that Buff State comes with all the time.
It was too much to leverage sometimes. Definitely. I was actually shocked when you told me you didn't go to Buff State. I'm like what?
You're always here.
Bro, this man is always here. Always hosting. What do you mean you don't go to Buff State? He's yeah, I go to UB. I'm so why are you here, bro?
I love Buff State. I think Buff State.
You said it the same way. You're I love Buff State. This is where it's at. I'm
it's the energy. It's the energy. It's the people. It's a place where Black excellence really does reign. It's a place where it gives you everything you need and everything that you don't want. So it's up to you to really pick and choose basically what you want to focus your energies on, because it'll give you everything you asking for, but sometimes what you ask for is not what you need. Sure. So that's why I love Buff State. Okay, cool. So let's talk events, because what made you want to get into events? Because I thought that was like very, very, very like not so much off the wall for you. Because I feel like it's probably like one of those rite of passages when you get into like the leadership spaces in Buff. Like it's like you have to start like you know how to bring people together. You know how the relationship builds. Like we spoke about off air. I think the next step for that is now find ways to profitize it or find ways to profit off of it in a way that's moral and ethical. And I think for us, the way that we've kind of discussed it is kind of like events allowed us to do that. You know, it was our way of being able to create spaces that were safe, as well as really create great experiences for college. Because at the end of the day, college is about these experiences and the networks that you gain. So how do you cultivate them to be what they were? But for you, how did you get into events and why did you decide to get into it?
Alright, so when I was in junior high, I threw my first basement party and the shit went fucking around. The same, like where we are right now, I kid you not, I probably had like 80 little motherfuckers in this shit. And we banged this shit out, bro. Kid you not. So I always knew I had it. Whatever you put out, fucking golden, right? We came to Buff State and I'm gonna be real transparent. Like, majority of the individuals who were putting on these events were older. A lot of it started feeling repetitive, you know, because it was such a high demand of events. There were fucking, we only had, it's only Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday we used to party. I'm not gonna say sometimes. We partied every day the weekend. So let's say 3 days. There were 7 events. There were 8 events. It was too many. So partying kind of got, like, the whole event, like, attending the party kind of just got...
It got old quick.
Quicker than usual, right? If it was like one every weekend, it's cool. We want to attend everything, but it was repetitive. And, you know, we're on a campus like Buff State where the African American community, like, we all know of each other or know each other directly. So you're seeing the same faces every event. It's like, okay, which one are you going to this weekend? Okay, I'll see you here. It's just like, all right. So now I looked at my grade and I'm like, oh, when these niggas leave, what the fuck we gonna do? And I had, you know, a following. I showed a lot of people love and a lot of people supported me. And I looked to my left and right. We had everything that we needed, right? Jamon was a DJ at the time. He was upcoming. And, you know, he focused on a lot of that back end things as far as like the music, the productions and everything like that. Fly making. We just had all the pieces. I'm not going to get into like everything that we needed, of course, but we had it. So it was just like, why not do it? So then me and Jamal was like, yeah, we're going to do it one day. Shout outs to Ra.
Shout out to our brother Ra, the best marketer.
The best marketer, man. He came in, he said, all right, you two little fucks. This is what we going to do. He like, yo, every time I've been watching y'all. And Ra came humbly as well. He was like, yo, I've been watching y'all. Like, y'all
shout out to Family Times, man.
Yeah, he said, y'all young intern. Like, y'all doing what y'all doing, but what y'all going to do with it? We kept telling him, like, yeah, we going to do it. We going to rock it off. But it was just more talk, no action. So Ra came to the table and he was like, all right, look, this is what we're going to do. Y'all been saying this for a long time. You got what you need. Jamon, you got what you need. Here's the venue. This is how much the venue is. Let's rock it. And me and Jamon looked at each other. We have been like talking about this shit for a while. Like, we don't even got a venue, huh? We like, you know what? And the venue hadn't been used yet. It was a good sized venue. We like, yo, bro, let's rock this shit. Like, fuck it, bro. The worst we could do is take an L. We learn from it, move forward, bro. Our first event did numbers.
So the first event wasn't, because I remember it wasn't the white and denim.
No, that was my
it was
personal
like it was like a bashment. It was a bashment party. Was it the one at the hookah lounge?
No, the first event was it Privacy?
Privacy was tough. The Valentine's Day joint.
I think it was Privacy, yeah.
Because it was an ASO after function for something.
Yeah, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think it was that. I think that was it. And yeah, bro, it went well. It wasn't like, you know, the demand like for all the experienced, I guess, ENTs out there, but it just shined light. And that's all we needed. It was like, okay, we didn't do horrible. Like, our first ever event, put in all the groundwork, did the flyers, slid the flyers under the doors. It made sense. Like, it worked out. And we said, all right, now if we keep this up, consistency is key. If we just continue doing what we did, let's just see where it goes.
So why all out ENT? Like, how did you guys come to that point?
we was young and turned. Like, we was always the extra ones on camp. I keep saying that, but we was always extra, you know? And we always used to like say something funny like, yo, it's either you all in or you all out. There's nothing in between. Like, it's either you gonna give it, like it's either you know what I mean? Like, you gonna give it all or you not. We was like, yo, every event that we do, we gonna go all out every single time. And one of our my other man's ride, not the best marketer, my other man's ride, he actually came with the name, and we like, yo, that shit corny as fuck. Corny as fuck. And then, like, you know, once we started like putting out there, everybody was like, oh, y'all the all out, making fun of us, like, oh yeah, all out. We like, all right. Kid you not, by the end of the year, Clee, it was like, y'all them boys, them all out boys. And we like, yo, this shit ain't so corny after all. Like, this shit quick. So
like I said, I'm gonna give y'all credit because for me, one thing I respected about y'all was, like I said, the energy and the consistency. And I just love the fact that y'all was just fighting, and y'all would try to create new experiences in Buff, bro. Like, I know what I did up there. You know, I know what I brought to the table. But what y'all brought to the table, I thought was very unique. And I'll say what I feel like y'all really brought to the table was the fact that y'all had one cater to women. I felt like outside of y'all, I think the only other entertainment group to really do it was me. To cater actually to women, not like try to be like a womanizer. Like, actually, like, I like girls. Girls are beautiful. They smell good. I like their hair. I like how they dress. Let's give them reasons to be that.
To be outside, yeah.
To be feminine and be all of that stuff. And I felt like y'all did a great job of that. And I felt like y'all were very organized. Y'all had a good team. And I felt like obviously there was some growing pains in that. But I would say all in all, I liked what y'all represented. I like what y'all stood for. I like what y'all was trying to do. I felt like you definitely was the face of All Out. And I felt like you were very loyal to people on your team. You could have definitely brought in a lot more other DJs. You could have probably got some more other people involved to help really build the brand up. But for the most part, like, your loyalty, it wasn't a bad decision. You know, so that's how I felt about All Out. I thought it was dope. I thought what y'all was doing was cool.
Yeah, we could have went the route and joined like the prior ENTs that was established already.
Why didn't y'all?
Again, it was just like, why? For what? Like, it feels better now knowing that we did it. You know, kudos to whoever, you know, did what they did, but we, you know, life gave us lemons and we turned it into lemonade. That feeling of execution is so much better, you know, rather than to just join something that's already established and we just continue like that continuum of care to somebody else's ideas or somebody else's establishment. It was like, yo, we have it. Like, let's do it. Let's try at least. Like, I wouldn't be able and comfortable with myself knowing where I am now. Like, what if? That thought lingering in my head, like, yo, what if we started our own shit? Like, what if? Like, at least I know, like, yo, we started a what if, we did it, and it executed well. Of course, like what you said, we had a couple hiccups along the way, which is natural. And that feeling, you know, there's no other. Like, we went from an event, I believe, like Privacy, to throwing Springfest after parties. Like, at first, it was who the fuck these young interns think they are? And then it was like,
that's where we're going.
Wow, okay.
That's where we're going.
They not fucking around. Like, alright. They bringing up who? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. They got a stage? Where the fuck they get a stage?
I will say this, and we spoke about this in the car. I think definitely, you guys were definitely one of the earlier entertainment groups to really have a full out production, like an actual professional productions, like at your events, like stage lights. Like, obviously we had stage lights and sound and buff, but like I'm talking about consistently.
Yeah.
Like the whole the truffles and all that, the trusses and all of that, the lights off the trusses and having people hanging off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sturdy enough. We paid for it, so you know, some of those decisions you gotta remember. We college students, so I'm like, and again, Jamon, shout out to him. He was more so, you know, he took care of that back end aspect of the business, and he was like, yo,
Like, I need this. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, yo, but we need this. I'm like, no, we don't. He's like, yes, we do. I'm like, how much?
So what were y'all profit margins like? Because it seemed like y'all expenses were really high.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll never talk about profits. That's something I would never do. Respectfully, because we didn't do it for the money. We did it because we wanted to. We did it because we knew when our graduating class speaks on how their senior year went, how their junior year went, how they say we're a part of the reason why they say Buff isn't what Buff is anymore, right? You know, there's a lot of controversy about Buff being rough and all that extra shit, whatever the case may be. Where Buff is now, it wasn't when I'm there. I'm content with that, you know? And, you know, when we had those individuals speak about what their senior year was, I'm content with knowing all out in that conversation, right? When you talk about what was your craziest college party, what's the craziest shit have you seen? Look at what you said. You got females hanging off the chest and shit. Like, it's real. Flagaramas. We bringing cultured shit to fucking Buffalo. Like, that is, you ask
Unheard
me,
of,
that's
yeah.
some unheard of shit, right? So, you know, I take pride in that. And as like I said, as far as the profit margin and everything like that, we wasn't hurting. I feel like that's the most I'll say. We wasn't hurting. We made money. That's why we continue doing it. It'll be foolish for us to continue doing something and not profiting from it. So the profit was there. I just not gonna speak on the margin. And just to let people know, we didn't do it for the money at all. It was more so the vibe and the experience that came with it. That it cost more.
So would you have considered me a mentor to you guys during that time?
In the beginning stages, 100%. Absolutely.
And what were some things that you learned from just, and it's not for my ego, just so I like just to know, what were some things that you picked up in the space, in the business that you kind of learned from me? And
yeah, 100%.
Whatever.
That's a great question. Treat people how you want to be treated is huge. And a lot of people, you know, undermine that aspect of business in general, because it's like when you went to a Cletus party, even though, you know, he was by himself, one thing I took from you was every interaction. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you for supporting my event. Highly appreciate it. If you need anything, let me know. Fellas, y'all look really good. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Listen, I know the weather conditions. It was like everyone. So in my mind, I'm like, you didn't factor out who the cool kids from the not so popular. Everybody was shown love no matter who you were. So every time we came to clear shit, even if things happened in arguments and fights or whatever, things under uncontrollables, it was like,
I don't know if I've ever had a fight, but I'm listening.
No, I'm just saying, it was always like what are y'all doing? Like, we not here for that. This is cliche. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Why y'all doing that? Like, come on, you know? And that's what I pretty much took, because in my mind, I know, and I've heard, you know, the feedback. It's like when they come to an event that I put on, they know it's going to be well executed, well thought of. They're going to be treated with respect, right? And it's not a bargain for the money at all. So that's my main thing I took from you. I'd say it's just having that personality, not just for your events and to bring people to your events, but just having it as a person, because that's what's going to gravitate to people to even want to be in that space, because of that positivity, because of that transparent energy. So it was just like, okay, we can act like the cool kids on campus, but what about this girl that want to come to the party? Why are we singling her up? Like, we could show her the same amount of love we showing.
For me, what I've learned is the people who think they cool usually not the coolest.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone has something that makes them cool. It's just if you care enough to have the conversation to find out what makes them cool. Sure. So, like, for me, like, you know, we had a lot of beautiful girls in Buff, and almost to our detriment, because I feel like because we were so used to it, we didn't recognize really the beauty that people were. Also, a lot of people didn't have the things that make them feel comfortable to be themselves. So, like, a lot of these girls didn't have their hairstylists. They didn't have their nail people. They didn't have their lash person. So you'll see in a lot of women at their, like, I would say at their worst. For real, for real. But we had a lot of beautiful girls in Buff, and one thing I realized with the girls was that they were the ones that were really making sure I was great. Like, they were the ones that were really, like, they weren't my enemies of progress for the most part. It was really like other bitch ass niggas that was just in their feelings about shit that had nothing to do with me. So what I realized was like, all right, Cletus, you know what? what you're doing is bigger than your ego. And when I realized that, it's like, okay, you're gonna go through some shit because of who you are and what you're doing, and the fact that it's disrupting what some men really are chasing, whether it's pussy or popularity. You know what I mean? That's what they're chasing, and you're disrupting it. So how do you make sure that you don't just disrupt it, but it's more like you enhance everything for the better? So what I try to do is like legit super highlight everything, because at the end of the day, like, if I benefit, I know others around me are benefiting. Mm-hmm. So that's how I did it. It was like, all right, you know what? It's about y'all. Because if I make it about me, y'all gonna be beefed out about it. So let me make it about y'all. And let me make sure I create a space where you could thrive and function at the highest level. And inadvertently, I'm gonna always get mine.
Yeah.
Because what I like, I know you don't like. The girls that you think are fire, those are like my sisters. I'm not even looking at them like that. Yeah. It's the shorty that's really pretty, quiet, with the nice car that you never really see around, that has the nice mentality with all the meals. Yeah, because I like to eat, with all the meals and the swipes and the Bengal bugs that stay out the way, that really is doing real shit. Yeah. So what it was that it was understanding the dynamics of people and understanding what people want. And when you know what people want, you can always supersede and super cater to those people, especially the people that are invested. Like, that's why I was like, I always, like, to me, my goal is always to invest in y'all. I always invest in the people coming after, because I was like, when this is all said and done, because you also got to understand, I came up under like the Rock Boys, I came up under Dream Chasers, I came up under City Boys, I came up under sick of SRK, Jason from Encore Entertainment, Illmatic. You gotta think, we did event, we brought Nori up, young niggas. So when you know all these things, it's kind of like you realize, like, and this is not to shade them, but it's like when you realize, like, a lot of people want you in the picture to benefit them or to add to their legacy for their own profit, it makes you look at things a little differently. Because I can tell you, like, a lot of stories about, like, how we made, like, we probably grossed like 100K and only saw 1,500. Like, we grossed 100K in sales and only saw 1,500. You know what I mean? But it was bigger than the money. Because I always tell my mom, sometimes when you put a price on thing, you actually cheapen it. Sure. So the things that money can't buy has always been what we've been chasing after. And I think that from listening to you, that's what you got out of that. It's understanding, like, the value of real things sometimes isn't about, how much money you got, but it's about your taste. Mm-hmm. Like, what you do is tasteful. You see what we drink, you see the fur. I mean, not the fur, but you see the robe, the type of silky you have, the way your nails is done. Like, it's a taste. Gotcha. And taste, sometimes great taste is an acquired taste. Everyone doesn't have good taste.
Everybody can't have that acquired taste.
Everyone doesn't have immaculate taste. That's why I always say that. So it's like that, for me, I think it's also some of the things that I really made sure I tried to hone in on, because it's never about me. It can't be about me, because I'm only one man. When you could cut the head, then everything else breaks down. Then what does that mean about the head, for real?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So what happened to All Out? What happened after y'all graduated? Because it kind of seemed like y'all did y'all events, y'all had the impact, and then after that, once y'all got into the towns, it seemed like y'all just all kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh at it, but it's just a chapter that closed. We'll leave it as simple as that. It's a lot of people had a lot of other things to focus on, right? We're speaking about an entertainment group that catered to college kids. Now we graduating, right? Now we got bills. Now we got families. Now I don't got a family, but I'm saying, like, as far as, like, I do got a family, but y'all know what I mean.
He said I don't got no kids.
I don't got no kids. Yeah, come on, let's cut that out. But yeah, it's like just more responsibility now. It's not just let's cater and throw the biggest college parties anymore. So, in that aspect, it was just that chapter closed, which is nothing wrong with, right? I feel like we didn't close the chapter with the ENT descending at all, which happens, right?
You see a lot of entertainment groups were huge.
So it's like, yeah,
and where are they now?
Yeah, so
who are they?
Like,
what do they do?
One thing nobody can say is, like, we fell off. Right, you can always say what happened, and I'm here to answer it. But one thing you'll never say is we fell off, because one of the last events we did was a successful event.
White and Denim was fire.
What help of All Out, but yeah, but again, different, right? So yeah, chapter closed, on to the next one. That's all it is. That's just how I feel.
I love it. I love it.
You know?
Okay. So let's talk anticipation. And actually before we get to anticipation, let's talk wine on the water. I want to do a part 2. This time 50-50 partners. Because I know the first one was like the business was a little, I wouldn't say the business was bad, but it was a learning experience for the both of us. But what I would say is I think wine on the water to me was probably it's definitely my favorite boat party I've ever done. And I felt like with wine on the water, like only gripe with wine on the water for me was I was trying to do a lot with a little. I was trying to put the concert. I was trying to do the food. I was trying to sell but it wasn't bad. You know what it was? I'm gonna keep it real. It was the niggas from my city that fucked up my shit. It wasn't like the party wasn't great. To this day, everyone talks about wine on the water. Like that shit was fire. Burst grapes, the hashtag, the colors, the fire. You know, me and Kendall doing the videos, the videographers, like everything about it. The recap videos were fire. We had 5 or 4 different recap videos. Shout out to Mo. Mo did a recap video before he became the supermodel that he is now. You know, like this was some big shit. RJ did a video. Kendall did a video. Who else did a video? Was that it? No, someone else did a video too. I forgot who. Too many videos. The line was crazy. The gal was fire. Winery fire. Tunes was fire.
The concept was fire.
Thank you. So tell me more. What was wine on the water like for you, and what are some things that you would have hoped to improve upon? Be honest. It's talking to you.
I mean, I had a fucking blast.
You was
right?
drunk out your ass.
I had a blast because it was for me, and we could speak business infrastructure on it, right? It was you came, you know, you hollered at me. It was like, yo, I want to add you on a bill. Like, you know, this is how we going to break it down for everything. And in my mind, I'm like, and you said, yo, this shit could be your birthday. I was planning a birthday event. And you was like, yo, let's do this shit on a boat. Like, you good.
And you
no
always
overhead.
said you wanted to do the boat, but the boat was boat bread.
You said, yo, no overhead. Like, do what you do best, bring them out, get paid. So I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't think I'm understanding what you're saying. You mean to tell me I don't gotta put no bread up, bring my people, and get paid on my birthday? No brainer. Let's do it. So for me, it was like a fucking, I'm transparent moment, of course. For me, I'm like, let's bring out all the motherfucking bottles because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get my check anyway. Check is probably already in the account already, to be honest with you.
Already there. It's already there.
It's already there. It's all there already. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, let's do it. Yeah. It's all there already. Like, let's do it. So I had a blast on all my people. Definitely, I should say had a blast because it was a different aesthetic. It was a different dynamic of an event, right? We're speaking about.
You had all of Brooklyn. I had all of Staten Island. We had Buff. We had gal from everywhere.
Yo, I'm on a boat in a suit, drunk as fuck, just like looking at the Statue of Liberty, like, nah.
You know what's crazy? I think sometimes I take for granted these experiences because of the fact that it's so regular at this point. Like, it's like, oh, that's just some shit that we do. That it's like I don't really appreciate how impactful and how memorable these are for us.
Nah, that was definitely a memory for me. Definitely. Like, the catalog is large, right? Like, it's done. There's people out there that never did. I could say I did a boat event. Like, we could say we did a boat event.
No, you did one.
A lot of people can't. Right? If you was there, you was there. If you wasn't,
the whole rollout was fire.
I hope you there for the next one. Like, that's just that. But
are
like,
we doing it?
No, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying, like, I just hope you. If you wasn't there at the first one, I hope you're there for the second. Like, that's how it is, you know. So, yeah, it was a great rollout to me. Definitely a great rollout to me, you know. So.
I felt like Wine on the Water was fire because just the concepts, like you said. Like, I appreciate you for that, for giving me that quick. I appreciate that. But, like, for me, it was just like, bro, we whining, we drinking wine on the fucking water. Mm-hmm. That boat rocking. Mm-hmm. Gail is rocking with you. And what I loved about it, outside of that, just the aesthetic with the boat, but just was just the energy. Like, it was one of those situations where, like,
upscale. You know, we got some dresses, we got some heels on the boat. That turned
y'all
into
look good.
Slippers. Yeah,
y'all look good.
Everything, late night summer vibe. The weather was perfect. It was
a little rain on the balcony, but you know how that goes.
That's cool.
Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. I wasn't trying to be up there smoking. I don't smoke no more. So it's like, why the fuck I give a fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, Wine and Water was a movie. We definitely gotta do Wine and Water 2 this year, God willing. We could talk to the boats and see what the numbers are. I can actually start working on that in the next couple weeks. So let's do that. Birthday celebration part 2. All right, let's say that. We could do a Wine and Water anticipation.
That might be a little crazy. Like together?
Wine anticipation. Wine on the water.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we can figure out we can talk. We can
logistics of everything. We'll talk about that. I think we're giving them too much sauce.
I mean, listen, by the time they hear this, Wine on the Water and anticipation will be done.
Probably gonna be done already, right?
You see me? All right, so let's talk anticipation. What's anticipation, and why did you decide to do events called anticipation? Because it kind of seemed like now, because I liked Blossom. I like Blossom a lot. I thought Blossom was fire. I felt like because was it during COVID that you do Blossom? It was,
I think so.
Yeah, it was during COVID, so it was like, and then the whole thing with the backyard, and all the bullshit that happened with that. So you had to bring it indoors.
Yeah.
I think Blossom this year is a monster. And I think with the right ideas around dress code, fabrics, colors, I think Blossom could be one of those, like, yeah, that's what we doing.
Yeah, that was just one of those testing events for me personally. It was like, I had a concept, I thought about it, ran it, see how it was going to be well played out. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't where it needed to be. Everybody know it was supposed to be an outside event. The weather was nice that day, but the rain just didn't make sense. The rain wasn't letting up, so I had to bring it inside, which kind of, I don't want to say killed the theme, but it definitely
take away from what you wanted to be.
Away from the execution of how I wanted that event to play out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, good weather, sun is out, day vibes,
bodysuits and rompers and
the whole
sundresses.
The whole nine. Like the sunshades is on from 4 to midnight, because by midnight
you drunk.
So shades for the first couple hours because the sun is really outside and it's hot, but then you drunk by the night. So again, we had to bring it aside, which was cool. Happy to be in a position to where I had those networks to just make a call and actually do so. But yeah, Blossom definitely is something. If I do run it back, I haven't really thought about it yet, but if I do run it back, we'll definitely get it executed just a little bit better. Be ready for whatever storm comes with that,
I like Blossom. I think Blossom's fire. Now let's talk anticipation. So what's anticipation? You saying anticipation is supposed to come out this year. Talk to us. What's that about? What's going on?
So a lot of people kind of hit me up last year and was just like, yo, like, when are you dropping a flyer? And I'm just like, I'm not. I'm not, right? And it's funny because, God works in just mysterious ways. The name of the event speaks for itself. Like, I shouldn't have to explain it. If it doesn't happen this year, just anticipate what's going to happen next year. So I feel like that dynamic of people expectations is always going to be there, right? Unfortunately, there were some circumstances that we're not going to speak on now as to why I didn't have it this year. Legal ties, certain policies, just a lot of back end bullshit, right? But people know what the vibes is on New Year's, right? You want to be with good vibes, you want to be positive, you want to be around that aesthetic, that environment coming into a new year. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, like, we're going to do this once a year. Every new year, we're going to call in anticipation because we got 364 days to build up for this fucking day. So that's that. And my name, everything is attached to it. Just the whole concept. It's like, all right, like, we done this year. Like, all right, planning starts the day after the event. See y'all in 364 days. So, we giving people an opportunity to dress up, and understanding. I know you could relate. Dress codes always kind of I have a love-hate relationship with dress codes, right? The aesthetic, the energy, the vibe is always there. However, it minimizes the population because a lot of people are intimidated by certain dress codes. This dress code here kind of forces you to be a little more upscale. Put some shoes on, the ladies put some heels on, change into slippers, whatever you want to do. And you know, a lot of people are intimidated by that. A lot of people rather be comfortable in New Year's for whatever reasons, right? But that's not gonna stop me from putting the event on. You know, it's not made for everybody to be there, right? If you think it's too expensive, if you think it's too far, if you think you can't, you know, abide by the dress code, it's cool. I don't feel no way towards you. It's just not the event for you. Maybe Blossoms for you. Maybe in a birthday party that I throw. Whatever the case may be. Maybe that's for you. This one isn't, which you might have to sit out for, which is fine with me, you know. So it's definitely, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is it's just not one of those events that's just made for everybody. It's not.
Because you can't take everybody anywhere. Everything is not for everybody. I love that. Anticipation is gonna be a monster. Like I said, I've been wanting to do a New Year's event. I feel like my only thing is I love you. First of all, you're my brother. Like if anybody, like that's just first and foremost. But I feel like a lot of stuff, I just want to get it done with you. Like you're the best person to work with. I don't like working with nobody, and you know that, and you know that because you know how hard I am about the shit I do.
For sure.
But you're like one of the few people. It's like, bro, let's just do this shit. Because even like everything I've ever done for the most part on my latter part of the last couple of years has been like really chasing, not so much chasing collaboration, but really like championing people and trying to champion collaboration. And you're like the only person, like one of the few people that's been consistently just great to work with.
Appreciate
Like, even like when I came through and helped out with like Blossom a little bit, like bro, it felt like we was working, like I was working with myself, and I felt like damn, like now imagine we got 3 more of us. Or 2 more of us, or one of us in different avenues of what we're doing, and like set design, or DJs, and back end, and then someone at the door, and then security that's like us, and then shout out to your mans, the brolic dude that used to, yeah, he cool. I fuck with him.
Right,
Good people.
University, top flight, man. That's my dude.
Yes, sir. So, like I said, I'm just so proud of you, bro, and I look forward to what you're gonna bring to the table. I guess like to close out, what are some of the goals you have moving forward? Like, what are some things you want to accomplish this year?
Biggest.
That's it.
I hate to say it because I'm gonna sound so arrogant, but it's just continue doing the things I've been doing. I hate the perspective and the perception. Everybody's like, all right, this new year, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do that. It's like, yo, my mindset already been locked. It's already been grounded. I just gotta continue, probably just turn up the notch a little bit. But it's just the motion that we already had last year going into this year. We just gotta turn it up.
I love that. Anything specific you really want to accomplish though, or it's more like?
I feel like, damn, God is the greatest.
Without a doubt.
God is the greatest. Whatever He
bro.
wants for me, whatever I want, and it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when, and I don't question God's timing. As far as the specifics, we all have specifics, but I'm pushing the narrative of just y'all know when it's done, when it's in the process. Like
you can tell a tree by its fruit. And you can tell a fruit by its root.
When it's done, y'all know. Like I don't. What's me telling you what's next? Like that's not gonna.
It doesn't help anything, right?
It doesn't help anything. The only thing that does, it just allows more people into what I got going on, and that's just not where I'm at right now.
I love that for you.
It's just more so just me understanding what I need to get done, setting that expectation for myself and God, and making it happen.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you. If people want to connect with you, follow you, where can they go to do so?
You'll hear about me. Now let me stop. Let me stop. Nah, man. At high definition _ you can ask your girlfriend. Nah, let me stop.
Oh my goodness. Who is this guy? This guy's the baddest. This guy, Scott, is the baddest. Scottie is the baddest.
Nah. Yeah, high definition on the Instagram at high definition _ There's a couple high definition. Those are the fake ones. Y'all don't gotta worry about that. Y'all
Jesus
know the
Christ, this guy. He said y'all know the face, y'all know the names.
Yeah,
I'm playing
y'all know
out
the
you.
vibes. Come on, it's that's really it. Ask around. The name I've been around. You know what's up.
Proud of you, bro.
Cocky as that sound. I'm sorry
Fuck
to be a
that
little
shit, bro. That
arrogant,
fucking
man.
matter.
Fuck being humble sometimes.
Yeah, listen, we've been humble for so many years at this point. If I don't talk up now, y'all think I'm crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. At this point,
yeah, without a doubt. Like
so much shit been done. It's like gotta be a little arrogant sometimes.
You know what it is? It's not really being arrogant, bro. It's more so like I said, what I realized with people, and this is the craziest thing. It's like if they were in your position and accomplish everything you accomplished, bro, they'd be way worse than you.
Yo, I am so happy you just brought that up, bro. Can we do a cheers to that?
Cheers.
Yo, let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, Clee. When people that don't know me and they're like, yo,
I heard so.
or like, you just so full of yourself. And in my mind, I'm like, little do you fucking know, I'm not as like
This is me being humble.
This is me being humble. How are you saying I'm full of myself?
This is me at like my most humblest.
I've turned down so much, and you still can't fathom where I am now. I am scared to show you what it looks like when I turn up a notch. I'm scared if you think that's how I am now. That's why I don't talk anymore. I just like.
It's tough because it's the people that tell you to be humble. You know this. It's like people telling you to play nice when nobody else is playing nice. Or people tell you to be humble. It's like, why do I got like I am being humble. Like, why do I gotta be humble for you? I need to be humble for you for your ego.
Yeah, for your insecurities.
You don't even know. You don't even ask. You're not even telling me to be humble for me. You're not even concerned with what that does for like who I am, what I'm going through, why I'm this way. Yeah. You're concerned about how it makes you feel and about what this makes you look like. You don't know everything about you.
And you know, we spoke on it briefly a little earlier. You don't know what the fuck I had to dig myself out of. How the fuck you gonna fix your mouth and tell me to be humble about something?
Because for real, if you went through what I went through, you would have killed yourself.
You would have folded a long time ago. You know, we got the adversity. We kept going. We kept taking them hits. We kept taking that, you know, taking things to the chin with a grain of salt. Like we kept going. 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 Hit after hit after hit after hit. Getting up. Keep on going. Like, how are you now when I dug myself out of, you know, that place where I once was? How are you gonna tell me to change my ways so it can make you feel better, to satisfy your needs and your insecurities? This is not happening at all. I'm who I am. I'm always be who I am. I'm always walk the way I walk. My aura is always gonna be my aura, no matter who you are.
And you know what's sad about it? It's like, yo, if you don't take the credit, then you're also disrespectful because you're being fake humble. So like,
yo, you can't win.
You can't win.
It's the yo, bro. I see, nah, bro. I ain't really doing too much, man.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yo, stop playing, bro. Like, why you moving like that? Like, I'm like, well, you can't win, bro. You can't win.
So go out like a king.
You can't win anyway. So it was like, why not?
That's why I always say, yo, bro, like, go out like a king, bro. I could either go out like a bitch or I could go out like a king. And I'm going to go out like a king, bro. It's in my name. It's in my destiny. I can't be anything else.
I'm going to go out however I want to go out.
Exactly.
Whatever that looks like.
Whatever it smell like. But
whatever
if it's
smell like.
Let us feel like, at least niggas have a little decorum when they deal with me.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't treat me like a dog. don't treat me like a dog. You can't. Because people will then show you who you were in the way you treated me. That's why I try to tell people, be cool. Keep it cute.
Always.
Proceed with caution.
Caution. What we said earlier? Oh, yeah. Was it highly?
Oh, we highly favored.
Oh, yeah.
Blessed and
highly.
Emphasis
on the highly favored. Highly. It's been proven. It's factuals. Highly. Proceed with caution. Don't fuck around.
I love it. I think that's a great place to end. Like I said, man, shout out to my bro, Scottie Dennis. I apologize for putting your government out there, but
Christ, you're gonna have to cut that out.
All right, I'm gonna bleep that out so the streets can't find you on Google and that. But I appreciate you. I'm so proud of you. High definition, Mr. HD himself, the biggest. Y'all know that God is the greatest. We've been saying that for a long time. We actually mean it. We're not saying it for aesthetic.
Nobody without him.
Come on. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Talk Ain't Cheap. And y'all know by now, it's not that deep. It's a vibe. Last but not least, I want to make sure I kept this real cute this year. We are going to be more professional this year. So that means we have to big up our sponsors. Our sponsors are Peace International Market, the community market at 3240 Richmond Terrace, Staten Island, New York. It is for the community, by community, powered by the community. Next, I have to also shout out Immaculate Enterprises and Immaculate Music Group, my group that I created with my friends, and we're making the best music out there. It's borderline immaculate. At this point, it gotta be that. Last but not least, I want to shout out Talk Ain't Cheap Network that's allowing us to have this platform. I also want to shout out the Clears Group that is powering this entire platform. And last but not least, I want to also shout out Immaculate Clothing, Immaculate Drip, and all the other immaculate things that's coming off this year. Like I said, culture is not about just what it is. It's also about the byproducts of that, and that's what we're chasing. So that being said, you tune in and Talk Ain't Cheap. It's not that deep. It's a vibe.